Is Brink worth playing? Bit of a strange question to be asking in 2017, considering that Brink came out in 2011. 10th of May 2011 to be exact. A date that was hyped up massively by Bethesda and Splash Damage as being a brand new revolutionary first-person shooter experience, the likes of which you have never seen before. What we actually got was a fairly bog-standard class-based shooter with some parkour in it. So, why am I bringing this up now? Well, the game recently went free to play on Steam, and Splash Damage told no one this was happening. So as a result, you might not know the game is actually free to play on Steam now. So, is it worth playing? Well, it's a fairly straightforward question to answer. And it also is a very disappointing question for me to answer, because I always enjoyed the core game of Brink. I thought, given the right developer, this game could become really good. If given the right developer, this game could become one of the best games of all time. The problem was, the issues were never solved, and the game, to this day, remains broken. And so I thought, maybe, when they made the game free to play, they'd fix these performance issues, they'd fix the gameplay issues, and sadly, they didn't. The game that you probably bought for retail is the exact same game you'll be playing for free. And herein lies the problem with that philosophy, is that Splash Damage and Bethesda have the opportunity to fix a game that was almost irredeemably broken, fix it, and get players back on those servers. And they didn't take it. They had 6 years to solve these issues, and they never were. Instead, they slapped a free-to-play logo over the disc, shat it out onto Steam, and now seemingly expect players to just waltz right back in. Or maybe they don't. The game was released with almost little fanfare. There was like 2 lines that were posted on the official Steam forum page from the Bethesda saying it's now going free to play. So it seems like they don't really care all that much about getting players back in. They kind of just said, well, the game failed, it's been 6 years, let's just throw it back out onto the server. Now, this isn't exactly unheard of. There have been many games in the past that have done this exact same thing. For example, very recently, Total Rock Studios released their game Evolve for completely free on Steam, and it did bring some players back. The player base has waned since that free-to-play release, but they're certainly nowhere near the levels that they were when the game was on retail. I mean, that game died almost in a couple of months. Almost the same as Brink did. One of the most famous examples of a game going free-to-play, and becoming even more popular because of it, was Team Fortress 2 from Valve. And the reason why that was so popular was because the game was actually a good game that when it went free to play became even better because it was free to play. But the price tag wasn't what dictated what made that game good. No, that was the actual gameplay elements themselves. And if you're in a game like Brink or Evolve that have glaring issues with their gameplay, changing the price tag isn't going to suddenly make those issues go away. Yeah, now it's free, you didn't pay anything for it, so you shouldn't expect a good game. Pretty bad thing to assume from your customers there. The issues that play the game at retail are still here. The FPS issues, for one, are still there. On console, this wasn't really a deal breaker, because the game ran at 30 FPS anyway on console, so you didn't notice the hitching and the stuttering all that much. On PC, however, regardless of whatever your FPS counter tells you, it tells me that I have 120 FPS, it seems like it's locked to around 45 up to 30 FPS at all times, and that's what it rendered as. The game chugs heavily. Performance is still an issue. On top of that, the AI is still brain dead retarded. They'll just fucking stand there and stare at you. They go from laughably easy to dropping you in one headshot, and there's no middle ground. They're either completely useless at just bullet sponges, or they're Liam Neeson, taking you out with one shot from across the map. The gameplay is still the same as it ever was. The classes are still the same as they ever were. The missions are all still there. 8 missions aside, differing sides. Basically, you play 8 different missions and you play them exactly the same way, just from the other side if you're playing on Rebels or Security. There is a full character customization now in the game as well, but that's all locked behind XP now. You don't get all the skills and customization options right out the gate. They're all locked behind various different XP walls now. And there are also 3 modes. They've made it over from the retail game as well. You've got free play, campaign, and challenge mode, which are all exactly the same as they were before. So, in conclusion, is Brink worth picking up? Well, that's going to decide on you. If you enjoy playing Brink before it went free to play, then you'll enjoy it now, because it's the exact same game. If you didn't enjoy playing Brink when it wasn't free to play, then you won't enjoy it now. If you've never played Brink before, I would honestly, because it's completely free, recommend giving it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? You could just uninstall it later on. The worst thing that happens is you waste your time playing it if you don't enjoy it. It is completely free on Steam, so if you want to give it a shot, go ahead. It's not stopping you, but just don't hold your breath for the game being improved anytime soon.